Steve, if you could address all of the voters in Florida's District 2 right now, what would you tell them about the campaign going forward, all the reasons that we need to keep you in office?
Well, first of all, I would say to all of them, thank you for the opportunity that I've been given up to this point. I've said over and over again, other than the successes, in my marriage and our family at home, this has been the greatest privilege of my life. It has been an awesome experience. We believe we've done exactly what we promised we would do. We have fought for the citizens of this district. The feedback we're getting is very good. You always have some that are going to criticize you, and I've also learned that the old saying, "No good deed goes unpunished," certainly applies in politics. But overall, Paul, the feedback that we have been receiving has been really good. So I would just say to them, as we go into this next election cycle, look, judge me on what I've done, judge me on what I've said, and does that line up with what I've done? And give us another chance. We are seeking another 2-year employment opportunity to represent our district. Thank you for listening. Thank you to your listeners for the opportunity that they've given me. We're learning how to be productive. We're learning about constituent services. So making sure that our citizens have their Social Security, their veterans benefits, if they're struggling with things like the IRS or State Department issues, we have an incredible team of people that are passionate and purposeful in how we serve the residents. And so I think we're hearing good things. We're hearing good things from the county officials, the city officials, that we're responsive and that we communicate on what we're doing. We send out our e-newsletters. We do our teletown hall meetings. We're frequently seen in our communities. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to work hard. And the thing I would say to them is, whether you vote for me or not, I'm going to fight for your children. And whether you vote for me or not, I'm going to fight for your family budget. And whether you vote for me or not, I'm going to fight for the American dream for all in Florida too. And I think that that's fair. And I think we've been consistent to that, and we just ask for we humbly ask for another opportunity to continue that.
And you talk about the learning curve. It's been almost universal that the career politician has been besmirched, that guy that gets in there and wants to stay and stay and stay. But in fact, it's got to take, especially when you serve a 2-year cycle, it's going to take you multiple years to just come up to speed and find out the lay of the land.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I understand the aggravation that people see with someone who gets into office and has stayed there 30 years and are untouchable, and I understand that. I don't like that either. I know this about our Republican conference right now. 54% of the Republican conference is served less than 2 terms. So, or 2 terms or less. And so, we're a new breed. We're a new fixture in Washington, D.C. Many of us come from backgrounds that are not in government. I had never served in an elected office until 2010 when we were elected. So, and you find so much diversity in our class, and you find nurses, you find those that have served in the military, small business owners, pizza parlor owners, accountants. You find an amazing group of people in diversity, and you also find some experience, people that have served in the state legislature that bring that experience with them. I didn't have that, and so therefore the learning curve that you referenced was probably a little steeper for me. Look, it's the NFL of politics. And it's a lot. So you go from Sandlot to the NFL in one jump. But the people have been very patient. They've been very caring and allowing us, and we have worked around the clock. Our learning curve has not been detrimental to Florida too. We have been able to move the ball because we did know how to do this. We did know how to create relationships. And in Washington, D.C., Relationships translates into influence. And so we knew how to create relationships before we got there. And so we've done some great things. The Restore Act, getting some good pieces of legislation like that, like the transportation bill, the most recently passed WRDA bill that addresses the water flow down the Apalachicola, the farm bill, some of the things we got in there that I think are critical to our rural counties. So we've done some good things, I think. So we've not harmed the people because of that learning curve. I think we've ramped up in a hurry, and so now we want to just continue on, because you're right, it does take Chem Florida 2 to go through another 2 terms without having someone that understands that process. We think that they're going to give us another chance, and we like where we stand right now.
If somebody wants to get involved, what's the best way to get in touch with your team?
Well, we've got, obviously, our campaign team. They can go to SutherlandForCongress.com. They can go on there and sign up to be a volunteer, to make, if they want to make contributions, they want to hear about our policy stance on issues, they can certainly do that. And then we would love to, if they signed up for volunteering, then we will communicate with them and let them know how we can plug them in. And I encourage, I speak to high schools all the time. We speak to elementary schools all the time, middle schools. We want young people to understand that it's important that they be involved. And I would say to all your listeners, please be engaged. Please be involved. When Ben Franklin came out of Independence Hall in Philadelphia in 1787, he was asked, "Mr. Franklin, what type of government did you give us?" And his response was, "A republic, if you can keep it." And so I think what he said then applies to now, that it can be, you have to keep it because you can lose it. And I think we lose our republic and we lose what our founding fathers wanted to give us if we are not engaged in the process. So I encourage all citizens to be voters, be engaged, find an individual that resonates with your values and your politics, support them both at the local, the state, and the federal level. And at the federal level, we certainly would appreciate their nod and support. So I love being with the people, and during the campaign season, it forces me to be with our folks, and I'm excited about it. I really am.
You can't complain if you're not part of the process.
That's exactly right. And I find it's look, today we mark the 70th anniversary of D-Day. And what those brave men did on those beaches in Normandy. And I'll tell you, you see the white headstones, you go to Arlington National Cemetery, or you go to the cemetery there, and you see the incredible sacrifice that our fathers, our grandfathers, great-grandfathers were willing to exercise for our freedoms. And that's the freedom to vote, the freedom to have a part, to help create the government you want now and in the future. And so in their memory, on this day that we remember D-Day, where we turn back tyranny, where we literally save the world and preserve freedom for that and future generations, I think it is a great memory to them. And a great honor to their memory to vote, to be involved in the process. And so to all the veterans who have served, we were recently on an honor flight taking World War II and Korean War veterans to Washington, D.C. to see the Korean War Memorial and the World War II Memorial, to spend a day with history. The gentleman that I spent the day with was 91 years of age, B-25 crew member, and to hear their stories and to sense their pride in America, and he's voted in every election since returning from World War II because he understands the price. So be engaged. Realize that freedom is not free. It must be fought for.
Well said, and certainly a timely message. Thanks again for taking the time today.
Listen, this has been great. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for all your listeners. God bless everyone, and I look forward to doing it again.
Keep fighting the good fight.
Will do, my friend. Thank you.
Here today with Steve Southerland, U.S. Representative from District 2 in Florida. Hopefully you've learned something. I certainly do with every show. We'll be right back.